Thank you, Travis. Good evening, viewers, and thanks for joining us on the Monday's Regional News. A family of 4 were ambushed at their home in Sangre Grande during the wee hours on Sunday morning and shot, including a 6-year-old girl who later succumbed to her injuries at the hospital. The girl has been identified as Kylie Maloney of Foster Road. The 3 others who were wounded are her mother, 26, who was shot in the left leg, the mother's close male relative, aged 34, and a 45-year-old relative. According to a police report, at about 2 a.m., 3 men dressed in camouflage pretending to be police shouted "Police, police" as they entered the home belonging to the 34-year-old victim. Police said as the men entered the house, they opened fire on all 4 occupants, among them little Kylie, who was shot in the chest. Police were called to the scene and took all 4 to the hospital. However, Kylie succumbed to her injuries at about 3:15 a.m. Kylie's mother and the 2 others were treated and subsequently discharged. Kylie's mother said when the incident occurred, she called the police more than 5 times and claimed that they arrived late. The woman recalled that the gunmen shooting them as though they wanted everyone to die. We now look at news from Brazil. Brazilian police deployed at the camp of supporters of far-right former President Jair Bolsonaro in the capital, a day after rioters launched the worst attack on Brazil's state institutions since it returned to democracy in the 1980s. Hundreds of police in riot gear and some on horseback amazed at an encampment near Brasilia's army headquarters after Sunday's storming by thousands of Bolsonaro's backers of Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidential palace. President Luiz Lula da Silva, Bolsonaro's leftist rival who took office on January 1st after a narrow October election win, promised to bring those responsible for the violence to justice after demonstrators broke windows and furniture, destroyed artwork, and stole guns and artifacts. U.S. President Joe Biden joined other world leaders in condemning the attacks, calling them outrageous, while Bolsonaro, who is now in Florida, denied inciting his supporters and said that rioters had crossed the line. Supreme Court Justice Alexander de Moraes ordered the governor of Brasilia removed from office late on Sunday for 90 days over alleged security failings. He also ordered social media platforms Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok to block accounts of users spreading anti-democratic propaganda. From Florida, where Bolsonaro flew 48 hours before his term ended, the former president rejected the accusation. He said on Twitter that peaceful demonstrations were democratic, but the invasion of government buildings crossed the line. The assault raised questions among Lula's allies about how security forces in the capital were so unprepared and easily overwhelmed by rioters who had discussed plans on social media for days about gathering for the weekend demonstrations. We close with news from Cuba. Ana Belén Montes, one of the highest-ranking U.S. officials ever proven to have spied for Cuba, has been released from prison early. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons confirmed after she spent more than 2 decades behind bars. Montes, 65, died in 2002, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit espionage after she was accused of using her leading position as a defense intelligence agency official to leak information, including identities of some U.S. spies, to Havana. Age 45, she was sentenced to 25 years in prison. A U.S. citizen of Puerto Rico descent, Montes began working for the DIA in 1985 and rapidly climbed its ranks to become the agency's top Cuba analysis. Prosecutors said during this time, Montes received coded messages from Havana over a shortwave radio as strings of numbers which she would type onto decryption-equipped laptop to translate to text. She was accused of supplying the identity of 4 U.S. spies to Cuba, as well as other classified information. Montes was arrested on September 21, 2001, shortly before the United States invaded Afghanistan. Her lawyer, a leading espionage specialist, had argued that she had cooperated without reservation. Thank you for watching. I'm TIANA.